Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones, and tonight I'm going to do a short video on women paying child support. Yes, there are cases where women pay child support. Now, you hear the complaints that men have when they have to pay child support. You hear the mothers who have the children, and society, it does take up for mothers. Mothers still get custody of the children roughly 90% of the time. Notice I said roughly 90% of the time. I did put a number on it because it's basically true. Women do get the kids most of the time. But what happens when a shoe is on the other foot? I mean, how many times do you hear men complain about how hard they work? They have to get 2 and 3 jobs. When they don't have a job, they have to find some way to pay child support. I know I had to pay child support. It was rough with child support, and even they take health insurance out of it. I can remember getting child support taken out, and I was getting left with just 25, 35 cents, $10. So I had to find other jobs. I didn't know the system like I know it now. Child support, they can intercept your tax return, take your driver's license, your professional license, take your lottery winnings, your casino winnings. They can take your unemployment check, your social security check, your pension check. If you're in the reserves, I'm talking about the armed forces reserves, they can take part of that check as well. In fact, when you fall behind in some states, they can take as much as 50% of your earnings. Now, when men complain, we're always ostracized. Oh, well, they're your children too. It's funny how the children are our children when there's money involved. But she wants the children for herself because she's going to get the check for the children. Because when taxes come, she gets to claim the children on taxes. And you see, when you're the non-custodial parent, you don't get any of that benefit at all. In fact, a long time ago, they used to take your gross salary. Like if you were making $10 an hour, you don't bring home $10 an hour because of deductions, but they would take your gross salary. Then they have a formula where they take both salaries. Well, in the end, the mother would benefit from the child support because it's already assumed that she's going to spend money on the children. We don't know how much. So the dad is going to have to pay his portion of the child support for the mother, but we don't know where the child support money goes. But in this video, I'm going to entitle it, Do Women Pay Child Support? Where you're going to see how this woman feels about paying child support. Now, again, I want you to pay close attention to this video because hear men complain about paying child support. Well, you're going to hear this woman as well. Before I go on with the video, we'll talk about fair use. And this is true. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 7. USC stands for United States Code. So 17 USC 107, Section 107 is the limitations on exclusive rights known as fair use. Now, this video that I'm going to present to you is from Judge Fonda B. She's a Texas judge. She is on the show called Support Court. Now, listen to this woman as she explains to the judge her side, and of course, you're going to hear the father. But the shoe is going to be flipped during this case. Again, fair use. Fair use. Just bear with me. Let me share my sound. And here we go. Now, the video is 13 minutes long, but I have it at the 9:48 mark. So you can see this woman. Now, this woman, I believe, was a stripper. She claims she makes a lot of money. You'll hear what she has to say. Let's go.
Not really sure how to go about doing that.
You can Google and say to the internet how to find private health insurance.
Right.
I'm trying to see
But
where
see,
she
but
get the
he has
180
his
from.
own barbershop, and through the barbershop, I figured that he could, like, he's
Already, they're talking about health insurance. Now, she has a job claiming that she makes a lot of money. I've seen this whole video. You can watch City Boys Up. That's where this video comes from the start to the finish. Now, she is claiming that he has a barber shop. Why can't he provide health insurance for the children? She's not providing any money for the children. But during this video, he has to take his children to work with him. Fair use. Let's keep going.
complaining about I don't spend time enough with him.
Start doing
He
that.
can figure
I
that
wouldn't
part
have been
out.
doing
Okay,
that.
hold on.
Because I can take my kids to the doctor, pay the copay out of cash, and be done. Like, insurance for what? I mean,
Well, child support for what? Because you're definitely getting ready to pay. How about
No,
that?
wait.
Yes, no,
But
it's
you're
not
on
a way.
Now you hear this woman believes that she doesn't have to pay child support. Now the judge says she's already going to pay. Again, she makes all that money. Money to pay for health insurance, money to help the children. Now, of course, the dad has the children. I believe the dad is working as well. He's a barber. He's supporting the children. But you know what? When the shoe is on the other foot, where the mother has to pay, there's not a lot of outrage. But when you watch this video, it's going to turn some heads. Because there are mothers out there who are making a lot of money now, no matter what they're doing. And you find they don't want to pay for their children. This woman's going to tell you. Fair use.
he didn't
No,
tell
ma'am.
you.
No, ma'am. You came here to waste my time.
No.
You did come here to waste my time. You make $180,000 a year, and you have not been doing what you need to be doing for these children. You don't pay for cheerleading. You pay for Happy Meals, and
But
I can't even say you pay for the
acting like
park
he is
because
a-
the
Where
park
did he
is
come
free.
from?
Now, this woman makes $180,000 a year, which is almost $250,000. She hasn't provided anything for her children because she thinks she doesn't have to pay for the children. Now she's going to tell you that I work hard for my money. Well, don't men work hard for their money? I mean, I remember when I was making $7.50 an hour as a surveyor for John Serene and Associates in Virginia Beach back in the late 90s. Did the court care how much I made? Heck no. I had to pay. And if I didn't pay, the consequences were coming. Now, then I didn't know about the system, how it worked. So I complied. But this woman is going to come up with some excuses. If you don't believe me, just watch.
Your Honor, I just want to say, and he's talking about my kids being teased at school and all of that. No, he's the one being teased. He's the one that is brainwashing them to believe this stuff and want to turn my kids against me because I don't want to be with him any longer. That's the ultimate problem. That's why we're here. Because before this, Mr. Williams didn't have any problems with me financially, taking care of my kids, providing.
Your Honor, this
Baby,
is exactly why we're not staying
and you go
together.
do what you need to go do those 2 days a week. That was our agreement. Now you want to bash me and make it seem like I'm not there for our children.
Now, this woman right here talked all this nonsense that she was like a boss. She made $180,000 a year. But now she's going to sound like a victim. Oh, well, you didn't say that when we got together. It wasn't an agreement. Now I'm paraphrasing. Agreement. Well, you didn't want to be with him anymore. Why? Because he was making less money than you are? But remember, you had children with him. You are the non-custodial parent. It is your job to take care of your children, just like it's his job to take care of the children. But it seems to me that you believe that the money is going to the father. Now, saying that, you should understand how we men feel, because we don't know how the money is being spent or where it's being spent, but we have to pay it. And guess what? A number of you women wanted equality. You got it. And this video is going to give you an indication of women who have children that they don't want to pay for. Fair use. Let's continue.
Children?
2
How
days
dare
out of the
you?
week, Your Honor.
No, it's not 2 days.
2 days
It's
out
not
of the week, and
but
she
can you
yelling
tell-
full time.
Okay, but what about that day you had an appointment and I had to watch them?
What about the day you left the kids at the house to go out with your
I would
friends?
never. You know what? See, you always bringing up old stuff. You know.
Now, this woman wants credit for doing what she should be doing. Okay, she had to take the children to the doctor, but she did leave the children at home, which is child neglect, to go out with her friends. Now, if the shoe were on the other foot, the mom is always going to bring up old dirt on the dad. But now when the roles are reversed, she starts feeling that heat. Why? Because this judge isn't on her side. Now, in most cases, the judge would always be for the mother, because a number of these mothers are coached. During this court case, the mother has to explain herself. And she's having a hard time explaining herself because she believes in her mind that she doesn't have to offer any financial support to her children, and her money is her money. Now, when we say that, we get castrated. I don't want to use the word castrated. We get vilified or ostracized. But aren't children produced by the man and the woman? You never hear that when the shoe is on the other foot, where the woman is the non-custodial parent. Fair use. Let's continue.
You always going, Your Honor, at the end of the day, I make very good money. I do very well, and he wasn't complaining then, and now he wants to complain now, and I just don't know what to tell him.
Again, she's bringing up that she does very well. She makes good money. Well, if I went into court saying I made good money, the judge is going to lower the boom on me. Most likely give her enough money to live off of. Well, she doesn't want to give up any of her money to her children. In fact, sometimes you have to read what's not being said. She would rather have the children herself, so he would pay her. But during this case, it's not working that way. Fair use, let's continue.
You know, but our kids is not an issue. They love me dearly. Please tell your aunt, please tell her that how much the
Your
kids
Honor, I don't have
love
to
me. They talk
brainwash
about
them.
me.
I don't have to
in a good
brainwash them.
way.
They already know.
No. They
'Cause
talk
they
about
getting
me
it
in
in
a
school.
good way. They love their mother dearly because I'm there for them.
She claims that she's there for them, but she's only with her children 2 days a week. I'm not saying they don't love their mother, but she's claiming that the father is brainwashing the kids to hate the mother. These are words that are very familiar. You hear guys say this all the time, and a lot of times it is true because the mother is upset with the guy, especially if the guy moves on. But you have a number of mothers who move on as well. Now, there hasn't been any situation that I've heard. Well, there hasn't been anything about this guy moving on. He just works as a barber. He takes his kids to work with him. Fair use. Let's continue.
Memories are you making with them? Do they
Okay,
tell you
hold
how
on,
they
hold
act
on.
at the
Let me-
park?
hold on.
They love the park.
Here's the memory we're getting ready to make because I made my ruling. You have capped out, according to Texas guidelines, your gross is $9,200 a month. Child support is set at $2,300. You're going to do a reimbursement to Medicaid for $276, making your monthly child support payment $2,576.
That's how much you.
Now, watch this. This is where the script is going to be flipped. She thinks that he has to pay her, but Texas law says he capped out. Now, watch this surprise. Here's the celebration right here. She looks like she just won the World Series, and she's getting ready to raise that trophy. But all of a sudden, the news comes down to her that, oh, you're responsible. Fair use. Check out the celebration and then the uncelebration. Let's go.
You're going to do a reimbursement to Medicaid for $276, making your monthly child support payment $2,576.
That's how much you gotta pay.
No, that's how much you gotta pay.
Thank you, Your
The
Honor.
children live.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Look at that face right there. She was celebrating. Look at the distraught. Oh, I gotta pay? Hell yeah, you gotta pay. You make all that money. So now you're responsible to reimburse Medicaid that the children weren't getting. Look at that. Now, how do you feel? You make your money, you work hard for your money, but you were bragging that you made $180,000 a year. Well, you're going to put that $180,000 to good use, because if you're making $180,000 is getting close to about $10,500 a month. No, it's actually more than that. $180,000. That's well, I know you had 13, 14. That's you're looking at 18,000. You're looking at $16,000 a month. I'm just going to round it up. Actually, $15,000 a month. So $15,000 a month. And guess what? You're only going to be paying roughly $3,000. So you're only giving up 20% of your salary, and you still have a lot of money, according to the amount of money that you make. Fair use. Let's go.
With him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I don't see the celebration.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. What happened to the celebration? Because you're the one that's paying that $2,576. The children live with him. He should not pay.
That celebration's gone with that ruling. Once that ruling came down, it wasn't in your favor. And guess what? She got you. You thought you were going to be the winner. Now you turned out to be the chicken dinner. Fair use. Let's continue.
Pay you anything.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I said I made my ruling, so I really don't have to hear anything further. Did you have any questions about that number?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Of course, because the ruling has already been made. Look at that dejection. Looks like she just lost. She thought she was going to end up winning. This is what happens when the shoe is on the other foot. She believes that she doesn't have to pay it all. She works hard for her money. Well, men work hard for their money as well. But look what we have to go through. So guess what? Ladies, the system is still on your side, but it's going to be NFL, not for long. It's going to take maybe a few more decades. Hopefully I'm alive to see it. But in the meantime, you all are out there making money now. You're bragging about how much you make. So guess what? When you have children, you're responsible for them too. Fair use.
Oh, okay. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, if there's nothing further, the both of you are dismissed.
Ooh, you wait till we get back. I am not even joking.
do this
And I
every
hurt my
time. You
leg
understand with
tending
me.
to you. Because I don't give it directly to him. I take care of my children.
Dress
But
for,
you're-
are they in any activities?
Yeah.
Yes, and
Okay.
After school, my younger daughter,
But-
she's cheerleading.
Sorry about the
I'm Nick Nimmin,
commercials.
and I'm a StreamYard user. For the last 6 years, I've been live streaming consistently.
But Your
Okay,
Honor,
are
I'm
you
the one-
taking them to
but I'm
cheerleading?
providing for them.
Okay.
He's not telling the
Okay,
financial
so
part.
let's talk about that then.
Yes.
How much money do you make?
Yeah.
I do very well.
That wasn't my
That's
question.
exactly what she told me.
That, excuse me. That
100
I can't, you know,
I'm
write
sorry,
down
I'm
very
sorry.
well on the child support order. I need to know how much you make in a dollar
You
amount.
want to get that number?
180K a year.
180K a year.
Yeah.
How much of that $180,000 are you giving dad?
Well, not necessarily giving that, but on my children, because I don't give it directly to him. I take care of my children.
Wait a minute, hold on. The kids are 8 and 5,
Right.
so you got to give it to him. So what are you giving him to provide for the kids?
Well, I wasn't giving him anything to provide for the kids. When I check on my
She wasn't giving him anything. Now, a man had said that, he would have been vilified. Again, you've heard me mention the word vilified several times during this video. But she thinks she doesn't have to give the man anything. I don't give it directly to him. Well, he's the one taking care of the children because the children are in his custody. Now, I'm not saying you're not doing anything with the children when you have the children with you. However, he has the children most of the time. It is your duty and obligation as a non-custodial parent to also pay. But this is a case where a woman makes a lot of money and she doesn't want to pay. Fair use. Let's continue.
kids, I do for my kids, and I buy my kids
What does
stuff.
that mean?
That means like I provide things for them. I do when they're in my care. That's when I provide for them. But
2 days a week in your care, right?
Well, full time.
We've established that.
Yes.
So,
So-
what do you do beyond that?
But as far, I can't imagine giving this man any amount of money that I work hard for, and he talks.
Bingo. I can't imagine giving this man any money that I work hard for. Well, how many fathers? Look at Tyrese. Is he paying $10,000 a month for child support? Yes, he is. Look at people like 50 Cent. They were paying a lot of money. Sean Puffy Combs, he was paying a lot of money. So we men have to pay it. We can't grumble about it. But this woman, in my humble opinion, feels entitled to all of her money, but realizes when you make children, you have to take care of them. This is what we men have to do. And if we don't like the consequences, we're always told we shouldn't make babies. Well, the same thing should apply to women because women have more, they have basically a lot more birth control than we have. We only have 3: vasectomy, abstinence, and condoms. That's it. Women have a heck of a lot more. And do they use it? No, they don't use it. Because a number of them, I'm not going to say all of them want to get pregnant, but a number of them aren't thinking about the consequences, the man or the woman. And this is why situations get tied up in court. If you don't want children, protect yourself. Simple. And if you and a guy don't want to stay together, because a lot of children are being made from men and women who aren't married. So at the end of the day, be adults by being responsible. Know the consequences of having sex. Fair use.
Talking about this stripper, this and that. I'm an exotic dancer, but he didn't have that problem when we got together. And the years that we were together, he wasn't complaining then. But as regarding my children, I take very good care of them. I just can't imagine the hard work that I do. That's why my knee is messed up now, because I had an injury at work.
Okay, this woman works as an exotic dancer, whatever you want to call it. She makes more money than he does, and she's required to pay, whether she likes it or not. That's the system. But see, you see how the women, when the system is against them, they feel like victims now. They feel like they should have the children, whether she makes more money or not. Fair use.
And he knows that, and then he's begging for money. I take care of my children. My children
He's
have
not
no
begging.
wants.
He's not. He is not. He is not begging. He is telling you to do what you should do anyway as a parent.
But you're not
Your
here
Honor,
in
the
private,
part-
Your Honor.
Your Honor,
He's
the
trying to
part-
get back with me.
Here,
He does
1 second.
extra
Hold on,
stuff
hold on.
like-
Now she claims that he's trying to get back with her. That is a lame story. The judge is telling her, this is what you do when you are a parent. You have to provide financial support. We guys are told that all the time. We're not entitled to go without supporting without not supporting our children. Yes, there's a lot more that goes into supporting a child than just the child support. There's health insurance. Now, I do believe activities like sports, yes, they're good, but if you have after school activities, they're free. But sports are a necessity of a child to keep them physically fit. But that's something that the mother and father could agree on paying. That shouldn't be part of the child support order. Child support should go to the basic needs of a child, not to fulfill a lifestyle. And that's the problem with the system. But again, I'm not going to go off track. This woman doesn't want to pay. And she's going to continue to tell you that she's a hard worker. She's going to tell you that the father is not fit to have the children. Not in those words, but in her mind, she believes she should have the children so she doesn't have to pay child support. Again, fair use.
Shh. It doesn't matter. That has no bearing on child support. What he says to you, what he says about you, doesn't make any never mind to me. What you say about her, what y'all's conversations are, that has no never mind, has nothing to do with child support.
Right,
okay?
but-
It's not a but. Let me ask you a question,
Okay.
because I don't want to derail this conversation in this case, because I have some more that I need to get to today. Now, if you're making $180,000 a year, why aren't these children on any type of health insurance?
Well, the profession that I have, there's no insurance offered, and I mean.
Well, it doesn't have to be. You're considered a independent contractor, right?
Right.
That means you can get private health insurance.
Stream 85 Plus live channel.
Absolutely. Getting back to the health insurance. She can get private health insurance, and if you're making $180,000 a month, which is $180,000 a year, which is $15,000 a month, you can afford some good health insurance. And you can also, if you're a contractor and it's your business, you can even write that health insurance off on your taxes. Now, again, I don't like the system of child support. I do believe it's an unfair system, particularly when it comes to fathers. Now, there are some mothers, Britney Spears and Madonna, they got caught up paying child support. And there are some other women out there as well. The problem I had with this woman is, I'm gonna break it down because I like using my psychology. She tried to be a victim and she really felt entitled. And then she was disrespecting the dad like she was paying him money. Okay. Now, it's funny because the same thing that men ask for, okay, where's the money going? I mean, I know where she was going with it, because when it comes to women, some of them don't spend the money on their children. I'm not saying men neglect their children by spending the money on themselves, but in most cases, when women get the children, certainly we men want to know where the money is going, because sometimes women will take a man to court and ask for more money when he gets raises. This is why a number of men quit their jobs, so he doesn't have to pay. But putting all that aside, child support. Child support is a bad system. I understand it. However, what you saw in this video was a presentation of a woman who felt she didn't have to pay any child support because she worked hard for her money. And as a man, we've said that several times. I mean, how many women do you know have actually had their licenses garnished, their checks garnished, their licenses taken away, sat in jail, some type of work release program? Not many. You had a number of men who've committed suicide because of child support. We're always getting lectured about being responsible. And this is a big problem here in America. Many women believe that they don't have to be accountable and responsible for their actions. But I'm going to tell you this, when it comes to a child, both parties are responsible. The difference is the mother is the one who has the decision whether she has the child or not. The mother could always get out of having that child. She can always have a deletion. She could always take it, put it in what we call a safe haven mailbox at a fire station. She could always give the child up for adoption. But believe it or not, we talk about deletion, but a number of these mothers keep the children for the money. Child support's a racket. It's a racket because states get an incentive for collecting child support. And when you put the man in jail, usually it's the father, it's an incentive as well. You see, when it comes to the statistics out there, it's true, more fathers pay child support because, in essence, more fathers are the non-custodial parents. But what you just saw, and even going back to another case, Mary J. Blige, she had a song out back in 2017, and it was about her paying her ex-husband, who was her manager, some spousal support. She believed that she didn't have to pay spousal support. But in the end, she made more money than he did. Now, I don't agree with the spousal support, paying another adult, because she actually had to pay that adult. But I don't feel bad for her either. Why? Because how many men have had to pay spousal support? How many men are paying spousal support now? You look at Ariana Huffington. She got her paper started because her husband was a billionaire and she was getting $320,000 a month. So if you add all those numbers up, for doing nothing, she was making $3.6 million. But now, when the shoe is on the other foot, where women have to provide spousal support and child support for their ex-husbands and their children, the tune will always change. Because at the end of the day, what's fair is fair. But I will also turn around and tell you life isn't fair. Because still, the gender that still pays the most child support and spousal support is the man. But now, you got to look at a woman who was in great financial position, but yet she didn't want to give any child support up for her children, although she spent 2 days a week with her children. Because in the end, don't make children if you don't want to pay for your children. Now again, child support is egregious. It is. But children have to be supported. And when you're a woman, you make a lot of money. Some of you talk about being bosses. Being a boss means you got responsibilities. So when you have children, you're just as responsible for those children as the father is, whether you two are together or not. So I will tell you this. When it comes to children, you want to keep all of your money, don't make them. And if you're going to make them, be married when you make them. There's too many out of wedlock pregnancies. And a lot of these children grow up to be dysfunctional, different last names, brought up in terrible environments, have parents that aren't ready to be parents. And when children start out at home in a dysfunctional environment, they carry that out into the real world. And in the end, the children will resent having relationships because of dysfunctional parents. So at the end of the day, ladies, you're responsible for your children just like the men are. Wanted equality? Now it's time to pay up. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for some educational content, check out the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. On that channel, you get a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you cannot find the QCIS channel or the 401 Talk Zone radio show channel on YouTube, you can check both of those channels out on Twitter. Now, for the QCIS channel, I take it one step further. Since it's a professional channel, you can also find the QCIS channel on LinkedIn. And also tomorrow, I'm going to be live streaming. We'll talk about schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, the Napoleon syndrome. And of course, I'm going to have an open panel at 7 o'clock. The live stream is already posted. Get in there and answer the poll question. The poll question is, do a number of Americans have mental health disorders? I'm paraphrasing it. The poll question is up. Go in there and put your vote in and like that video and also like this video. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who were offended and for individuals who weren't offended, opposite sides of the same coin, I'm going to share this with you. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. Once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.